Why, hello there. Welcome back to the Star Wars headquarters. Hope you're all doing well. And I'm back again talking about the new upcoming open world Star Wars game that's in development by Ubisoft. We're going to talk about what the CEO had to say about the development progress of this game and what it could mean for the release date of the upcoming Star Wars open world game. And then we're also going to talk about the heavily rumored Star Wars shooter. And this is just a rumor, but we're going to talk about the heavily rumored Star Wars shooter that's supposedly in development by EA. And we're going to talk about, some new evidence I've gathered as a result of my investigative journalism, if you will. So we're going to talk about that and why I think DICE LA is working on a possible Star Wars game and then also working on a Battlefield spin-off game or supporting Battlefield 6. So we're going to talk about that because there's new quotes from Justin Wiebe, the senior design director at DICE LA. We're going to directly look at what he had to say about this. This is his Twitter right here, and he took to Twitter to talk about what he's working on. And we're going to also take a look at his LinkedIn as well, which really shows some interesting stuff there too. So let's dive into the video and take a look. So we're going to first start by talking about this heavily rumored Star Wars shooter game that's in development by EA. And if you enjoy talking about this and speculating about this stuff with me, post a comment down below in the comment section. Hit that like button. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified of upcoming videos. So let's jump to this right here. You may have seen this before, but bear with me if you've seen this before because I'm going to go into a lot more detail in this video. So we have to start here because this is where it all started. It started on Reddit from a person by the name Orca is not alone. So they posted this. You may have seen this again, but I'm going to dive into more of this here in this video and explain why I think this might be true. So Orca said EA is working on a small-scale Star Wars game that will release later this year. Game has been in the works for a little over 2 years. Much smaller scale project than something like Fallen Order akin to Squadrons. It's a shooter, but I'm not confident if it's traditional first-person shooter or a third-person shooter. Just that it involves gunplay. And then he goes on to say, we'll release Q4 2021 for all major platforms, excluding the Nintendo Switch. And it's being developed on Unreal Engine 4. And then it says, no idea when the trailer will drop. And then he goes on to say, that's all from my day of the sources. So again, we don't know if this is all true, so it's speculation, but I've done some digging on this and some more research on this. So we're going to take a look at what Justin Wiebe had to say on Twitter. And I apologize if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but Justin is the senior design director at DICE LA. And I believe that's DICE LA that's going to be working on this small scale Star Wars shooter, if indeed it is in the works. Because if you look at what was posted on Video Games 24/7 back in 2020, Respawn boss Vince Zampella has confirmed that the next DICE LA project is probably going to be a shooter. And keep in mind, Vince Zampella, he headed a little game called Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and it's confirmed that Vince Zampella is now leading the DICE LA studio and that they will be rebranding the DICE LA studio as well into something totally new. So he's been working over there for a while now. And if we jump back to that Reddit post, that's kind of lining up to what they're saying here, where the game has been in the works for a little over 2 years. And my guess is it started out as a concept that wasn't even attached to Star Wars at all. And then they evolved it into a Star Wars game after the success of Jedi Fallen Order. That's my guess. Again, grain of salt here. Now let's jump back to Justin Wiebe's Twitter, because this is important here, because Justin Wiebe, he posted this on Twitter. He said, any guesses what EA owned franchise I'm thrilled to be working on now? And he said, it's not PvZ, sadly, Plants vs. Zombie. It's not Skate. It's not Apex. But man, that's a great game. It's no Jedi. Now, don't panic, because I'm going to keep going here. He says no Jedi. So he said no Jedi. And then he He said, correct, it's Battlefield for the win. So he confirms that one of the games he has been working on is a Battlefield game. He doesn't say Battlefield 6. So my guess is that Vince Appella has come over from Respawn Entertainment, and with his Apex Legends, Battle Royale experience, he's going over to DICE LA to head that studio and help make a Battlefield Battle Royale experience with Justin. That's my guess. But again, they could be just a support studio for Battlefield 6. So, what we do know, though, is that he's definitely working on Battlefield regardless. So he is definitely working on Battlefield, and he just posted this as of February 8th. So this was just recently revealed as of February 8th. Now, if we jump over to his LinkedIn, because I know that a lot of you are panicking when he says no Jedi, but that doesn't really mean anything, because a Star Wars shooter really wouldn't have any Jedi to begin with. Now, if we jump over to his LinkedIn here, we take a look at Justin's LinkedIn. It says he's a senior designer, design director at DICE LA. So I am looking at the correct LinkedIn here. And then it says right here that he is working on 2 unannounced projects as of September 2020 to present day. So he is working on 2 unannounced projects over at DICE LA. So we now know, well, there's not 1 project, but 2 of them. And we now know that one of them is definitely something related to the Battlefield franchise. So I think that second game, unannounced title, if you will, is the Star Wars shooter game. Now, they haven't officially announced anything, of course, but we're going to be paying attention to Justin's Twitter and all of their Twitters to see if they hint at anything. And I know he said no Jedi, but of course, a Star Wars shooter, I don't think it really would have Jedi in it anyway. It's going to be more focused on shooter combat. So it could be based on, clone troopers, stormtroopers. It could be based on the Bad Batch, as well. So all kinds of stuff there that they could do that doesn't involve Jedi. So what do you think about this? Leave a comment in the comments. Do you think that DICE LA is indeed working on a Star Wars shooter? I think it's possible. Now, I'm going to dive into the Ubisoft open world Star Wars game now. And believe it or not, what the CEO has to say about the Ubisoft open world Star Wars game kind of really supports my theory of EA wanting to make games faster and get them out quicker with the Star Wars license. So let's take a look at what the Ubisoft CEO had to say about the upcoming open world Star Wars game. So this is what he said here. He said, "We are very happy." Let me get that up on the screen for you here. So he said, "We are very happy to be partnering again with Lucasfilm Games. The project will be aided by our massive studio, who will make the most of their cutting-edge technology, including the Snowdrop engine, to deliver a groundbreaking Star Wars adventure. We are very proud of this collaboration, which is a testament to Ubisoft leadership and expertise, notably in creating amazing works. It is another demonstration of our capacity to build partnerships with the biggest names in entertainment and technology space." Now, this sounds very exciting. Again, hit that like button if you're excited for the open world Star Wars game. I cannot wait for it. And of course, Ubisoft massive. They worked on the Division franchise. So I'm very excited to see what they can do with the Snowdrop engine on next-gen tech. Now, it says, on Lucasfilm, we can say we are at the early stage of development on the Star Wars game. To answer your question about the benefit from that in terms of hiring, yes, we see lots of people wanting to participate in this adventure, and it's really a very good thing. So this is really the part that I want to take away from the Ubisoft quote right here. And again, this is Ubisoft CEO, is the fact that they are in the hiring stages from what they're saying here. So what that means is this open world Star Wars game is very early in development. It sounds like they're at the concept phase of this game. I don't even know if they've decided on what type of game they're creating yet. It's been rumored that's an MMO. I don't believe it's going to be an MMO game. I think it's going to be something more along the lines of like a Division 2 style Star Wars game set in open world where you can play with your friends. Now, I could be wrong about that, but we'll see what happens. Now, In terms of the release date, considering that they're at the hiring stage of this game in the early development stages, I think we're looking at a 2024-2025 release date. So that was the whole point of reading off that quote from the Ubisoft CEO, because we now know that they are in the hiring phase. And to me, that means it's going to be a very long time, unfortunately, before we get an open world Star Wars game from Ubisoft. And it's a bummer. And that kind of further supports my theory that EA will want to work on smaller Star Wars games to take advantage of this big gap while we're waiting on this Ubisoft Star Wars game. They know they have a limited amount of years to get a couple Star Wars games out while people wait on the Ubisoft Star Wars game. So they're going to really make sure they get something out quickly to capture the player's interest. And that's why I believe that this rumor right here about the smaller scale Star Wars shooter game may partially be true. So again, we won't know until like EA Play, of course, but I'm really hoping it's true. I'm really hoping that EA DICE LA is working on the shooter. But again, all speculation for now. I enjoy talking about this stuff with you all and trying to gather all the evidence. Again, come EA Play near June, it's usually near June, we'll know the truth. So leave a comment below, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. I'll keep updating you on this stuff as we unravel more speculation on these upcoming Star Wars games. But I will see you all next time. Have a good rest of your day, and may the Force be with you always.